Man, they just passed I guess, the so-called like, resolution. But here's the argument I have. If they're getting something, is they getting it to help or to hurt people? Because if there's people getting benefits, then they supposed to get it. That's one. But the same people that's making these decisions, are they thinking about the people that need? Like, you see how busy the hospital system is. Are these people pretending they're sick? Are these people pretending that they don't feel good? Are they just another group of people manipulating the system to win? Yeah, let's say it like that then. Another group of people trying to use the system to win. Because that's what it looks like they attacking. Because you get mad at one person and you go on the internet and you say, look, I put $280 million on this person to win. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have won. All right, cool, bad. So somebody can spend $280 million to argue a point that he helps you become who you are. But it's okay if you take, I'm just asking. I'm trying to figure this out. It's already to ask your constituents, hey, you think it's okay if we take 19 million people off an entitlement program? Mind you, I have my license to sell health insurance. So that's the biggest mockery of it all. This is the circumstance of they created an umbrella, right? This umbrella was to be there for rainy days. This umbrella was created to be a symbol of the appreciation of the American way. Just like birth citizen rights. Trump kind of, I guess, kind of cleared it up. It was for slaves that they took off ships and their mama was somehow impregnated by somebody and that child became an American citizen. All right, cool. Cool. I ain't worried about that as much as I'm worried about the 19 million people, mind you. Who cares if it got my child in it, your child in it, anybody's child? Let's think about the incubation rooms. Let's think about the children that's trying to get to in this world. They have no idea about politics. They have no understanding who Rand Paul is or fiscal responsibility. They could care less who Chuck Schumer is. They are in a incubator trying to get to where we're at. Just the minute part of it all. It's just mind-boggling that no one's, because you didn't work. You never had a job. You never had a fucking job. That's what this is coming down to. People are believing people because they don't know what the experience is. See, I worked in triage. I worked in TICUs. I worked in rooms where babies were trying to be born. You take away a rural hospital that has a premature medical center in there, these women gonna have babies and not gonna make it to be born because it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring a baby on this earth. That's just because I'm saying that because it starts with a job. It starts with having the knowledge. Why do you think most employers are laughing at college students when they go get an interview? Yeah, they be smart, they be ready, but they be wanting some exuberant amount of money and have no experience. How you have no experience at something and you demanding people to give you something? Give you what? You is about to go to school for 4 years. You're gonna educate yourself on something. You're gonna take out all this student loan money and they're gonna turn around and delegitimize what you learned. But we can continue down this narrow-minded path because a selected few are being liked enough that they cool. And as long as they cool, the narrative is I'm gonna go after that dream. I ain't gonna go after my own dream. I'm gonna go after everybody who's doing the same thing dream. You got to be kidding me. You got to be. I'll stand on that. I ain't following I ain't never been the type of person to follow anything. I don't give a damn. I'll go up and shovel shit all day before I follow somebody else's lead. You must be out your goddamn mind. I mean, you got to be kidding me. You gotta be like him to be something in life? Got to be out your rabid ass mind. I know politics because politics is how we all made it through. The politics of that project being created was a political stunt. Projects were created by militaries that boarded soldiers. So anybody that say politics is bullshit, you live in the design of a politic. Go learn something before you try to delegitimize somebody. I ain't talking about religious thoughts or beliefs. Go learn something. They about to hurt 19 million people. Let's think about what type of 19 million this is going to be. Oh, this definitely going to be the sick and the shut-in. Them saying church folk y'all make fun of that's sitting in front pews that get prayed for every Sunday. Oh, they sure enough going to get hurt. Ooh. We already talked about the premature babies. Let's talk about the Section 8 housing that's going to get trampled on because of the high cost of rent. So now the states, because learning something means you need to know what you're talking about. I don't have bars. Only bars I got is what cost of rent is going to be. Only bars I got is what's going to happen to your electric bill. Only bars I got is the bars that you're going to have to go through when you go through that system that they're about to put you through. But I ain't got no bars for you that's going to motivate you to go hurt somebody. Only hurt I got for you is going to be in your pocket, in your wallet. So let's think about this. So they're going to cut the solar credits. You cut solar credits, y'all don't know nothing about it because you don't want to be educated on that fine, cool, boom. But what they have done was they have diversified our utilities. So we have solar, wind, and water as energy, not just a turbine with coal making electricity. So then you subsidize the oil industry. So every time we pay $3.69, the price of oil has not gone down. But what has happened is the price to create the fuel has gone down. So the people that create the fuel is getting richer, and the cost of it is getting cheaper for them to make it. But it's not getting cheaper for the consumer. All right, cool. All right, I got it. So we're going to have to pay more for fuel, but subsidize the oil companies. All right, cool, bet. All right, yeah, that's all right, I got it. Yeah, all right, cool. So the state of Pennsylvania already taxes a high amount on the fuel. The state of Pennsylvania. I don't know about the state of New York. I don't know about the state of Ohio. I don't know about the state of Florida. I said, learn something. Learn your demographics. I can't learn you. I don't want to learn you. I want to learn me. So anyway, the state of Pennsylvania taxes fuel here for miscellaneous costs. So the miscellaneous costs in Pennsylvania are already tapped into our oil costs. So they use the oil costs to pay the state police, daycares, hospital systems in rural America. All right, cool, bet. And then on top of that, the housing system here. All right, cool, bet. So the United States government gives them a block grant. Bam, this is for your housing. Wham, they get that money. All right, now what they're saying is they're not gonna pay the 40% no more on the housing. All right, cool, who's gonna pay the 40%? The state? So now you on Section 8, you just got the vouchers. You've been on, listen to everybody else talk about it's income-based housing. And it ain't income-based housing no more. Because once they pass this bill, it's state-based housing. It ain't federal housing. It ain't gonna be called Section 8 no more. Just like everybody running around saying Obamacare. That is another way for them to fool you. Because there's no such thing as Obamacare. You can't go into your coverage and find the word Obamacare in there. It's called the Affordable Care Act for a reason. Affordable. So the Supreme Court knew what they was doing when they definitely did what they were supposed to do with the birther's right argument. An injunction, I can't say I don't care one side or the other. A federal judge should have their ability to say, hey, this might hurt people. But at the end of the day, he's the president of the United States of America. The argument might be falling on that the judge doesn't have the same amount of authority that the president has, because the president is the highest jurisdiction of the United States of America's Constitution. So therefore, the judge has to play second fiddle to what the president says. I mean, playing king, but it's still, you use the word president. So it doesn't sound bad, but they kept the preventative care list. I wonder why. Because even if the states get left with the bill, the federal government will still have to back the Obamacare thing, you believe, which is called the Affordable Care Act mandate. And they'll have to give out money to the expansion to keep that coverage. What he was trying to do, if he'd have got rid of that, he'd have got rid of coverage for people for basic shit like goddamn diabetes. Because you don't care. Oh, you want to know who's on the block. I don't care who's on the block. They've been on that block since I was a kid, and they still on the block. Why would I care? What the fuck is you talking about? You ain't never seen a block before, so you worried about the block. I ain't worried about the block. I didn't seen that before. That's how they got it wrong. They look at you because you talk good and proper because your mama read a book to you. Imagine walking every day to school. You like, man, I ain't grown up. Yes, sir. All right, yes, sir. You better listen, boy. Yes, sir. That's what they was telling us. You better listen. You don't want to have to do this. Shit. Oh, I know. He ain't talking all day. He ain't got no keys to the thing. He ain't got no work. Who cares? You act like that's going to get you in heaven. You act like what you got going for you is going to get me where you need to be. No, I'm motivated. You getting work done because you so irritated in mass production by D Burger on the internet. You're like, who is this clown? He can't be this. Just you can be that. What? Yes, you can. Just work. You could be that. Just work. You ain't got to do nothing else. You ain't got to tell nobody nothing. Just work. You could be that. Yes, you can. Just work. Bet it. Bet it. Just be quiet. Y'all doing all that talking, recording everything you doing. Be that. Work. That's it. I don't know what that is, but just be that. You want to be a football coach? I didn't see a football coach win championships. He don't walk around bragging that he the winningest coach. You know what? I remember that coach's training. He would just give us the rules. He would just keep saying run. Never start running when you're on the field. When you're on the field, you run. That was his number one rule. His boys ran it for 10 years. His boys ran it for 10 years. That's crazy. So you know when you got a system, you just go with it. So if you want to be that. Coach, he was our middle school basketball coach before he became a championship running coach. And all he did was do the same thing he did to us. He's a young man, just came from the league, just came back home, was getting his feet back into the business of working with kids in schools. And he was our football coach, our basketball. He was like an assistant coach at the time. And middle school coach, though. He wasn't like the high school level. He was just working his way in. He used to do all the same things he do today. He did that back then. So he didn't go around saying, I mean, he did have his pro days. He was in the league, so when he got on the field with us, you know, he had his new shoes on, his new, you know, he had that swag like, oh yeah, he was in the league. You can look at him and be like, he was in the league. Like, he just had that swag about himself. But he didn't say, yeah, you little niggas can't never be what I could be. I've never heard an encouraging person try to encourage you with less. An encouraging person is not going to pour less in you. He's going to pour more in you. He's going to make you believe. You see that 8-foot tall motherfucker right there? You can beat him. No, damn well this 8-foot tall motherfucker too big. But he going to make you believe that by encouraging you. He ain't going to tell you, hey man, don't you do that. What kind of coach you got? You know what I'm saying? Think about what you hearing. That's why you can beat somebody like me and be like, that ain't gonna work. That ain't, I'll just get more excitable. That's how we doing it? All right, that's how we doing it. That's how you do it. That's how life works. You gotta get up every day and live. You don't ask no questions. You don't tell people what you're doing. You don't explain shit to nobody. You take the instructions and you use them. That's it. Use the instructions. So if you don't know what's going on, here's the instructions. They're cutting the health care for 19 million people. What's the instruction, D? The instructions to understand that you go get a job and make sure you can take care of your family. And make sure that instruction is you get the paperwork that lets that insurer find out, like, oh, my job doesn't cover health care. And you give it to the right people to make sure your children got coverage. You got to dot your I's and cross your T's at this moment, because if you allow them to get you in a situation where you can't take care of your family, people will die. People will get sick. You gotta understand, we all guaranteed. So while we here, we gotta plan for the next thing and the next thing. And you gotta have some encouraging spirit, and you can't keep every day believing that, oh, we're in an oppressive state. Because when I go into rural America, they not sitting still. They not worried about inflation at all. They not worried about the economy stopping at all. They not worried about they meal Section 8, welfare, food stamps, health care. They not worried about none of that shit. Every parking lot's full, every casino's full, every restaurant's full, every mall's full, every car dealership's full. Nothing is wrong in rural America. They don't care if he uses the bill to hurt people, because those people decided to go out and say it's the white man's fault. It's the blue man. It's Charleston White's fault. What the fuck? And then you got on the Hasan Campbell bandwagon, and now you complain about everybody's fault. How is it somebody's fault when we could go back into the 90s and tell you, man, you had to see what that shit looked like when they had task force running in barbershops, sticking guns in kids' faces, thinking we was drug dealers. You talking about ISIS? Imagine what Reagan had going on with the war on drugs that he brought in America. He brought the shit. Yeah, let's go and make sure we get that shit correct. Cocaina? That cocaina that you hear them making decisions with? Ronald Reagan, the TV president? Yeah, that guy. Yeah. The Cuba? Yeah, they had cocaine in Colombia, and they needed guns, so they ain't had no jobs or no money, so their only export was cocaine. So the president, he decided to bring some of that cocaine over to they call them urban developments. Yeah, you put a title. This is happened to Pittsburgh. They put a sign in East Liberty. I was a kid 20 years ago. I'm 42 now, 43. It said urban development. What that means is we gonna run this well dry. We're not gonna fix the pipes. We're not gonna fix the buildings. We're gonna let the crack come into these neighborhoods. We're gonna let people get killed. We're gonna do all the things to depreciate the value of the property so we can gentrify it. It's East Liberty. Now it's called Upper Oakland. Fuck around and find out. So what they do is they put out there that they're gonna underserve a community. Wow. That's how you gotta learn something. You over here just biting on everything that people give you, and they got these heifers talking in this back of you. Shut the fuck up. Listen, they're gonna underserve you when they put a sign that says urban development. 20 years. That's how that works. You gotta depreciate the bond. You have to make the bond less in that neighborhood. So the bond's less. So when they go and say, oh, how much is the bond to keep the maintenance people and the city workers employed? That's why they're trying to make sure they get Wilkinsburg in there, because there'd be another tax driver that they didn't have in their system already. It's just, learn something. You ain't got to fuck that block. That block been there. That block wasn't even there when you got there. They made that a block because the people that they put on the corners, think about it. Every block is ran by a foreign entity. If you go to a white establishment, you don't see niggas standing on the block. It always be the Indian, the Asian person, the Muslim person that wants the business. So he don't care how he got to get the business. He don't care what type of element comes around his store. But if you ever notice at Macy's, Burlington, the simple white people places, you never see motherfuckers standing in front of there loitering. No. So fuck that argument. Make a better one.